everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
$1,000. And did you see McDavid's pass? Oh, my God. Oilers no longer allow goals, ladies and gentlemen. And who's the starter in net moving forward? Zach is back. NFL weekend devastation. Plus the Flames help an Oilers rival, of course, because that's what they do. And a trade today involving the Vancouver Canucks and the San Jose Sharks. We've got that and more straight ahead. The Lowdown brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. We're live on YouTube and Sports 1440, also online at iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, Radio Player Canada. After the show, we're on Apple and Spotify podcasts, and we tweet it out on X as well. You can text or call anytime, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We're on Twitter at Lowetide. There's an E in there. At Declan Krueger, there's a U in there. At JFenwick04, there's an 04 in there. Okay. Our guest today, Rachel Krychak, will join us at 1240 from Betalytics, and we'll talk about the McDavid play. We'll talk about Podkolzin, the deal that just happened, Nuge, and more. We'll get into the Eastern Conference as well a little bit. Then we'll have Jason Gregor at 120. We'll talk about Nuge's 1,000th game, what he's meant to the Edmonton Oilers, and the way forward. And 2 shutouts on the weekend. What is going on with the goaltending? That Canucks trade is interesting, and we will have a lot of it for you. All right, it's time for the introductions. He was confident in his NFL picks on Friday and picked the loser all 4 times. So this week, we're making him wear a Thanks Tips hoodie. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick.
Yeah, I was pretty, I was wrong 4 times. And that's, you know what, got to eat the crow on that one. But
don't worry about it. We all do
close.
It. Yeah.
I was
also,
close, but you know what, I was wrong.
And you poo-pooed me, and they won.
Yeah, you're right. They did, and I apologize.
You don't have to apologize for anything. You're trying to be
ball.
entertaining. I don't know anything about ball. I picked the Eskimos. All right. He's at the crossroads of absolute heartbreak over the Bills' loss and ecstasy because it's a college football championship game tonight. But he has an oatmeal backpack full of excuses for the Bills. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
Yeah, so I don't know when we're going to do an NFL recap, but I'm going to need just a couple minutes. I don't know if we're doing it right here.
Well, you know what?
Give the man time to mourn.
Why don't you do it now? Because it's fresh and people are listening for it. So,
yeah.
And I imagine most of it will involve I've never seen a play like that in my life. That is not what it turned out to be.
Yeah, listen, I'll try and make this quick. I know people tune in off the top of the show for you, and we will get back to that. But my initial reaction, as a Bills fan, was that we got reffed, that this was a ref job. And then I kind of sat back for a second and I let it all sink in. And I said, you know what? This is just who Josh Allen is, because he's 0-3 in his career in overtime in the playoffs. He's 0-6 total. He is now going into this game. He was the winningest quarterback in NFL history to not make the Super Bowl. And this was the year it was all set up to get there. But then I had to take another step back and say that this was a ref job. And I'm trying really hard to remain calm, and I was working on what I was going to say. But the catch, I don't even know where to start. We'll get to that in a second. If you're going to call that PI on Taron Johnson in overtime, you have to call the same one on Riley Moss and Brandon Cooks on that throw to the end zone. I didn't think either were PIs. I didn't think the one on Taron Johnson or Trey White were PIs. The one on Trey White didn't even matter. I mean, the game was over. They had already got so far downfield, like they were in field goal range anyway. But the catch or the lack thereof, when Xavier Worthy had a play like that last year, it was a catch for the Chiefs. I'm not even bringing up that third down or that fourth down they had. That was a sneak, by the way, where the refs bailed them out. But when Xavier Worthy had that play last year, it was a catch. When Devontae Adams had a similar play the very next day, it was a catch. But when Brandon Cooks appears to have possession, knee, thigh, and calf all on the ground being touched by the defender, it's not a catch. And here's the other thing. Like, if you want to turn around and tell me that, no, that actually was an interception, like, whatever, I disagree, but we can have that argument. The fact that they didn't even or barely even reviewed it, and that Sean McDermott had to take a timeout so it could get reviewed, and the league just said, nah, we're good, keep going. That's a whole nother thing. I tried really hard to be a rational fan about this and look deep inside myself and say, okay, this is just who Josh Allen is. He's James Harden in the playoffs. I tried to build that narrative up for myself from the point of objectivity. But coming back down to earth, I had to look at it and say this was a complete ref screw job. If you took 100 people on Twitter and asked them to agree what color the sky was, they couldn't do it. But you found 100 people to agree that this was a catch down by contact. It was a ref job. Congrats to the Denver Broncos. You guys get to go play Jarrett Stidham in the AFC Championship game. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for him to go 13 for 45 with 3 turnovers and 101 yards. That's going to be such a fun, awesome game against the Patriots. And I do feel bad for Bo Nix for breaking his ankle. It's just, when you fail on your own terms, that's one thing, and you live with that and you take it on the chin and you eat it, and that's cool, and you move on and you say, hey, we're not good enough, or we weren't good enough, or we have to be better. But when the game on 3 separate plays is taken away from you, it is a whole different can of worms, and that's what we had to experience.
Well, I think, I'm not going to argue that, and I appreciate your passion. That's one of the great things about you. But I don't think Josh Allen had a particularly great game. I mean, he's running down the field, and he turns over the ball on what is like, you can't have the ball that open. If you're a championship quarterback, that play doesn't happen.
And you know what? Beyond that, because Lowetide, you're right, he was turning the ball over like crazy. That one fumble. Like, how fumbles usually like go forward, the momentum of it, like this one goes backwards. Here's the other thing. Josh Allen had a chance really to win the game on that third down pass to Dawson Knox, and he airmailed him. Like, that's why I was sitting there saying this is who Josh Allen is, because Josh Allen airmailed that one. No excuses. You got to hit Dawson Knox there. He was wide open and he completely airmailed it. So that's why I was having that, like I said, that realistic conversation with myself about who Josh Allen is.
I think it's a combination of the two. I don't disagree with you, but that was a bad call and it cost the game. And you never want to have that happen.
And I don't know where you guys actually come out on that. The text line, we've got a couple texts in saying it was a pick. Again, disagree. Think it was a catch. My thing, though, is like, how can we not review it? They spent 6 minutes reviewing second downs in the second quarter. Why can't we review this game-changing play?
And now the coach is out and the GM's in. Are you surprised by that?
No, I'm expecting that I was expecting Sean McDermott to go because it happened. What happens, with coaching now? Like, if you hit a peak, if you hit a hump and you can't get over it, you get removed.
Right.
But sorry, I don't know why. I didn't mean to yell like that. Sorry.
If he hits you, we got HR.
The thing is, this roster that's been constructed by Beaner, 56 players have been drafted since Josh Allen. 2 of them have made the Pro Bowl, James Cook and Dawson Knox. And Dawson Knox, he's not even really a Pro Bowl caliber player. So it's far more a roster construction issue than it is a coaching issue. I did think Sean McDermott was going to go. I understand it, but the overarching problem is how this roster has been built.
Okay. Now
I'm fighting back tears.
Well, we will talk more about this because I appreciate your passion and we want to get that on the radio. I do want to get to a few Oiler things. Nuge 1,000 games. We were talking this morning about the fact that Nuge is so popular with fans. And I think part of the reason is his personality. There's been some strong personalities in this town. Taylor Hall, certainly Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. And Nuge has been very adaptable, but he's also been a great player, a great winger, but also a great center. And he has fantastic utility, a 200-foot player. And I think that fans appreciate not just his ability, but his the fact that he can be as good as he is and never bitch and moan about not being the lead dog. That's not for everybody. And I was very happy to see Nuge get that 1,000 games. I was thrilled with the fan base who love him like forever. I was mentioning to Carius, when they win the Stanley Cup, and they will, there better not be too much delay in getting it to the Nuge. I don't know what the order is going to be, but Nuge has to be high on that list because he's so wildly popular, and there would be a riot. McDavid's pass on the Podkolzin goal, come on. Like, that's all world. And good for Podkolzin, channeling Patrick Maroon and getting the net and scoring what is a gorgeous goal, a memorable goal. And I think he gets 20 this year. Kapanen injured. The word is, Gregor had the quote on Twitter, the word is that he'll be out, but not a long, long time. And so that's good news because he's turning into a very valuable player and a vital player. He plays second line right wing. That's a feature role. They got him on waivers. And hats off to Stan Bowman. I wrote about him today, the best and the worst of Stan in 18 months. And Podkolzin's on there, but so is Kapanen, and deservedly so. I don't know who. I do not know who the starting goaltender is going to be down the stretch here, but it would be nice, and it looks like they have the best tandem I think they've had since Fuhr and Moog. I'm not comparing him to a Hall of Famer. I'm saying these guys are both playing really well, and they look like they're playing a repeatable game, and maybe what's more important, they're playing great defense as a team in front of these guys. Part of it is that they don't let out the big rebounds. The Kevlar goal pads seem to have gone away, and things are working. It's too early to celebrate and talk about, hey, I told you so, but it is trending in that way. Those of you who wanted to see a change. Now we worry about Calvin Pickard because the 3 goalie system is going to impact. Oilers might go 11-7 for the next game because Leon's in Europe and they don't have the cap room to recall anyone. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think they're going to do anything with Calvin Pickard as the 3rd goalie until after the Olympics JMO, just my opinion. The Canucks made a trade. And it is a trade with the San Jose Sharks. No surprise that they made the trade. I think that most people felt like Kiefer Sherwood was going to go somewhere, and he's a very valuable player. San Jose Sharks, a little bit of a surprise. Do you agree with that, Josh, or do you think that they were, in playoff contention, so they might as well fill their hat?
I was a little surprised, but then, yeah, I had that exact thought. It's like, well, they're trying to make a push right now with Macklin Celebrini playing as well as he is. And just sort of bolstering up that D-core. Maybe they don't have to go to as many overtime games as they have been. So, it makes sense to me. I also, I'm not going to say highway robbery or anything, but I definitely thought that he would go, Sherwood would go for more.
Yeah, you got just a couple of second-round picks and a defensive.
Cole Clayton.
Yeah, Cole Clayton. I think that's light. Compared to the Flames deal, they got a lot more.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And Cole Clayton, by the way, 6.5 years old. He was born on February 29th in 2000. So shout out to the Canucks for bringing back child labor, I guess.
There you go. And I mean, he won't be arbitration eligible for a long time.
No, I think they're good.
Yeah.
They have a nice young asset now.
Well, I'm with you. Maybe break down your opinion of the Calgary Flames deal with Vegas Golden Knights. They screwed over the Oilers, so you got to be happy about that.
A little happy about that for sure. But you know what? We got back basically as good as you could do on an expiring deal.
Almost 2 first-round picks.
1.5 first-round picks, basically, right?
Yeah.
And so, I think is it really that valuable if it's a team that's going to, that first-round pick or that second-round pick turns into a first if the team you traded with wins the Stanley Cup?
But
not
30,
particularly.
If let's say you finish with the 9th pick and you got 9 and 32, you could move up to 5 or 6, and that could make a difference.
Exactly. You have extra draft capital to make trades, which I think Craig Conroy, as much as I'm like, hey, he doesn't want to make moves. He doesn't want to make moves to get rid of the assets that he has right now. But I think to get a new one, a new shiny toy, I think he'd be more willing to part with a 32nd and a 9th pick or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Zach Whitecloud, I don't know. That's a nothing thing. And
he can get traded at the deadline.
And I get the retention.
Yeah.
Also, because it's an expiring deal. So all in all, I like it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's a little light on the Canucks side in the deal that went down today. All right, before we take a break, really quickly, Declan, I want you to, if you can, control your rage and now release the hounds of fury and excitement over the NCAA championship game.
Yeah. Also, really quickly, how funny is it how incestuous the Pacific Division is?
Yeah, it's they know what they're getting. Well, they're pulling the chute in Vancouver, man. They just are.
So what's Edmonton going to do, by the way? Vegas just went out and got Rasmus Anderson.
Well, Edmonton,
They
no,
did
they
it
just
already.
got
They
two
got Jari.
goalies. They got two goalies, and they picked up a pretty good defenseman. They don't have the money. It's money in, money out. I mean, if Mangiapane waves, they can go do something, but that's why signing these no movement deals is a bad idea.
Okay. Question. Sorry. I'm really excited. I'm really, I hate games at 5:30, so I'm going to have to watch the first half an hour here and then steer home and watch the rest. But I'm going to just see this Cinderella run in the Edmonton on. It's so magical. It's so lovely to be a part of. Like, I got a whole thing about the Oregon thing. I can talk about that for an hour. Maybe I'll put it over the podcast. I'm excited for the game. It's going to be awesome.
And you said earlier, I want to repeat this because I thought it was almost poetic. You said that if they win, we can start talking about the lead for the movie, and it does have that feel, right? Like this feels like one of those things we'll be talking about in 50 years from now because they came from less than nothing.
Yeah, it's like you're so right, man. They came. Listen, the best way I can describe it, I'll make this quick. It's not a perfect comparison. I've said it probably 5-6 times across a couple different shows here on Sports 1440. It's if he took the worst team in the AHL and had them in the Stanley Cup in 2 years.
Yeah, pretty wild stuff. It really is. Okay, now what's on Declinations today? He asked.
Yeah, MMA is coming back. Sorry, I'm so flustered. You guys can probably hear it in my voice. Like my heart rate feels like it's going through the roof.
You're
my
fine.
energy feels like it's going through the roof.
headphones.
Yeah, like I feel really flustered over here. I'm just thinking about the Bills. Yeah, so Mama MMA, we do have MMA coming back this upcoming weekend. I'd like to preview that, but obviously so much else going on in the world of sports. Whatever you guys want to do.
All right. We'll probably talk football at some point in time. Okay. On the way, we have Rachel Krychak at 12:40. We'll talk about the Oilers and some other things, deals going on as we speak. So we'll talk about that. Jason Gregor at 1:20. Obviously, it's Mama MMA and other things at 1:40 on Declinations. Rumors straight ahead, including that Sharks deal. We're going to drill down a little. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball. Yeah. Does the dragon taste like chicken? Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly, some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Ugh, seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
Are you looking for an affordable business, group, or team outing this season? Why not catch the excitement of a game with the 5-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints? With extremely affordable group and suite packages available and some of the lowest food and drink prices around, Saints games are the perfect night for your next group event. Get your group in on the action. For more information, visit sgsaints.ca.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com, making it easy. Got a text in here, Rod in the Valley. Afternoon, fellas. Just fleecing the Canucks in the last two trades, Podkolzin and then the Kane trade, hinder future trades between the two teams. No, I don't think so. Not at all. You know, the Canucks are rebuilding. They're going a different direction. But I think they did blow it with Podkolzin. I'm going to ask Rachel about that at 1240. He looks like a guy, man. You know, he really does. And they played him early and then they stopped playing him. That's the mistake. You should slow play them at the beginning and make them earn it a little more. And then they're more established when they get there. And the Canucks are not a well-run organization. Oh, there's a bulletin. And this would be an example. All right, it's time for Rumors, presented by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. There is much to get to. The San Jose Sharks have acquired Kiefer Sherwood for kind of a light payment. Cole Clayton and a couple of second-round picks, one in 2026 and the other in 2027. Good deal for San Jose, obviously. I think it's a little shy compared to what we've seen lately. Certainly, you were going to get more for Anderson out of Calgary. They got a lot more. They got what could be 2 firsts and a guy that they could, move at the deadline if they chose to as well. So there is that. The Red Wings are apparently interested in Vancouver Canucks Elias Pettersson, and this is via Canucks Central and Frank Saravalli. So that would be interesting. I think they've got to move him here. If you're gonna do what Vancouver needs to do, which is what Trevor Linden said to do 5 years ago, then you've got to move out all. The Miller's gone, Hughes is gone. You got to move Pettersson as well. I think that's the way to go. We'll see how it happens, and I mean that could happen here right away if one of the teams feels like there's an opportunity to run and to make hay with Pettersson this year, something that I'm not sure a lot of organizations would feel, although he's a very talented guy, but it's out there. A few things about the games on yesterday. Maybe I'll throw this to both of you guys because we have the 4 winners and we have the AFC and the NFC final, but what we don't have is the actual rosters. And there's a lot of guys who got banged up or are guaranteed not to play here in the next game. Where are you with all these injuries? Obviously in Denver, the quarterback problem is the biggest one.
Yeah, we'll start with that. I mean, it just seems like the Pats. Listen, you have to play who you play, and I give the Pats a lot of credit for winning 14 games this season, getting that second seed. And listen, good defense in LA, although not quite the caliber of Houston or Denver or Seattle, if Seattle's the team that makes it there. Rams as well. So they've had to play good defenses, but like the path they've had, the easiest schedule ever, it was like a combined 37% winning percentage in the regular season. Then they have to play the Chargers with no offensive line. Then they have to play CJ Stroud, who sucks, by the way. Like, how bad is CJ Stroud? And you're out here giving pep talks in year 2 to Caleb Williams. A year after that, you look like you can't even hold Caleb Williams' jock, so I don't know what what you're doing giving pep talks. You suck at football, clearly.
Speaking of which, can we just give love to Caleb Williams, who makes the most ridiculous passes every game, it seems?
Whoa, my goodness. Like that it's just ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. So the Pats, it looks like they're going to have a gifted path, but you got to play who you play. Now you're playing Jared Stidham, whatever. Seahawks just dominated a beat up 49ers team. The Rams-Bears game was a movie. I thought the Bears were going to do it again. And those were the only 3 games this weekend. So Josh, over to you.
Quickly on the CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams thing and him being like, oh, you're going to be a great player in this league. Since that happened, Caleb Williams has more pass yards, rush yards, touchdowns, and less interceptions.
Yeah. Oh, see, he was right.
So,
yeah, good point, Lowdown. You're right.
You're right. You know what? You're right. I can't knock you for that. Caleb Williams is incredible. Broncos, and the Patriots, they have a problem with backup quarterbacks per Nick Foles.
Somebody's getting into the Super Bowl who's no damn good.
Well, I mean, I would say Drake May is good. Like, he's going to be second in MVP voting for a reason.
Might even win it, but you're probably
You're probably win it. Same with Stafford. There's a possibility here that the Super Bowl will have 2 fun teams against each other. There's also a world in which, and I was just telling you guys about the tweet that I read, Declan saw it too, that there's a possibility that Sam Darnold aggravates his oblique and has to be out for the Super Bowl, season ending, and the Broncos beat the Patriots, and we have a Super Bowl where it's Drew Lock and Jared Stidham going against each other, and that would be the perfect culmination of this whack season. Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
If it was 2 backup quarterbacks going against each other, Slim and the Rock, with 2 elite defenses on the other side.
I will tell you that, when it was all over last night, I was like, oh, damn it, Eagles. If you could have just gotten through to the semi, I mean, they could have made the third, because I think they are a great team. They didn't have their quarterback. We can talk about all day, but it's there for everybody, including the Bills. They're not going to go. Some other teams didn't make it this year, but it's wide open now. If you were a team like the Eagles in the Final Four, you'd feel pretty good about what you're doing. I think the Seahawks have to feel pretty good right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. The
Rams are going to be a tough out.
The Rams are going to be a tough out. And I think most of us have seen it. The comparison of passing yards and score in the 2 times that the Rams and Seahawks have met each other. It's a difference of 1 in both of them.
Let me ask you about McDermott. Where will he go, and who do you like for the new Bills head coaching? I know it's early. I know it's 5 minutes, and Deck over there, our buddy, is running on adrenaline right now. But is there anybody who you go, okay, well, maybe this guy?
I would like an offensive coach.
Mike McDaniel, welcome.
I don't want Mike McDaniel because I just think I think another thing the Bills need, the Bills need an offensive coach who can get the absolute most out of their players to help Josh Allen. But they also need someone who's going to understand the situation they're in. And I think that's kind of rarefied air. I know he just signed with the Falcons, so it's a moot point. I think Stefanski I would have liked Stefanski there as well.
Not a defensive?
No, yeah, but from the perspective of
knowing what position they're in.
Are the Bills sort of like the Oilers in that they have a high ceiling and a low floor? They can't control the run. They botch things. They're do they have a good wide receiver room, as Declan says?
I mean, again, at this point of the season, it's a moot point, right? It's over for them. So
it feels to me like this is a team that if they don't get to a Super Bowl, there's going to be a lot of disappointment about this team.
Well, yes, this is a team that should have fired Brandon Beane as well. Yeah. Both him and Sean McDermott should have been. It should have been the same meeting. They both come in to meet with the owner, and he goes, "By the way, guys, you're fired. This is it. This tandem of you two is not working out. We had a terrible rush defense, and I get it. Brandon Beane got Joey Bosa." And he was okay, but and he picked up Tre'Davious White, but the fact that your wide receiver 1 was either Khalil Shakir or Keon Coleman, not bona fide guys, and then Brandon Cooks, he hasn't been good since he played with the Texans in 2019 or whatever when he was the WR1. There is some serious problems here. The only offensive weapon that Josh Allen had all season was either James Cook or Dawson Knox. You need an actual wide receiver who can go up and get those 50-50 balls. So there's problems on both ends there. Maybe, I get that, an offensive coach makes sense, but maybe they make that trade for Mike Tomlin.
Well, that's interesting.
They just go, hey, you know what? This because it is a certified guy. He can get to the playoffs. He is a floor raiser.
Well, the good thing is the Bengals didn't fire their coach, and
it's a good thing
because that guy on the free agent market,
he'd be out of work.
Yeah, give us Zach Taylor.
He'd be hired as a special teams coordinator or quarterbacks coach for 2 years, and that team that he went to would win the Super Bowl, and they'd be like, you know what? That quarterback played great. We should hire that guy, and they would get to experience my pain. I don't know. It's tough. I honestly trying to find an offensive head coach out there right now is like you have to go with Mr. First Time Hire, essentially. Unless what?
Well, somebody who's brilliant offensively,
that's why I'm thinking Chris Shula maybe.
Shula or hear me out.
He's the defensive guy again, but he's just like he comes from the Sean McVay tree, and he's a guy who I don't know. I think he kind of gets what a winning culture is like.
Or hear me out. Winning culture guy turns programs around. Kurt Signetti after he finishes at Indiana. They win the Natty this year.
Does he want to do that?
I have no idea. But the Bills call him. They say, hey, blank check. We need you to take us to a Super Bowl. We need your help. Does he say yes if he wins the Natty?
No, I don't think he leaves Indiana because here's the thing. He is going to have a blank check at Indiana for the rest of his life. He's probably going to get to stay there as long as he wants, no matter what the records look like, even if he wins the Natty this year, I should say.
Where is Indiana? What city?
Bloomington.
Oh, that's a nice city. It's not Gary, so it's nice.
$12 million a year goes pretty far in Bloomington, Indiana.
Well, I bet you could buy a nice car.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. GM, just down the road, right?
So we've talked all year about the Bills, and you've always said they're not good against the run. So they have some defensive issues. They didn't have all the things you want on the offensive side, and Allen had to do a lot of ad-libbing. He fumbled, but he was trying to do what he always does, which is make something out of nothing. So what kind of a draft does this team have to have, or free agency, or I don't know, just signing guys who are walk-ups? What do they need? Like, how much do they need? Do they need more than the average team that looks like they could have gone to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah. Their roster really wasn't very good. They need a true wide receiver one. Like, I like Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir is like a wide receiver 2, maybe a wide receiver 3 on a Super Bowl winning team. They thought they had it in Keon Coleman. I don't think they do after all. They also need a few more dudes on defense.
Do you?
I like Christian Benford. Matt Milano's older. Joey Bosa was great this year, but they need some dudes.
They need 2 dudes on the D line.
Maybe they should trade.
Or they need a linebacker.
Maybe they should trade Josh Allen to the Eagles.
For?
Well, Hurts and a pick.
Saquon Barkley.
That's a really good. Who says no? Josh Allen for Jalen Hurts and no. Well, it had like 3 first-round picks.
Well,
I still think the Bills say no.
Oh yeah, no. Listen,
he can do look, Hurts is built like a linebacker and he can run. But I think that's the problem is the bloom is off the rose. Right?
Meanwhile, Josh Allen built like a linebacker. It can run and has the most insane arm talent ever.
But he didn't drop a dime when he needed to in the game yesterday, as Declan pointed out.
Yeah, it's true. He airmailed Dawson Knox on what should have been a gimme.
Here's the thing. I remember Fran Tarkenton, who was a great quarterback, didn't win with Minnesota. And Jim Kelly was a great quarterback, didn't win in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that for Josh Allen.
I don't think anybody does. He already has the.
Well, get ready for it, buddy.
like Declan said, he already has the most wins in a postseason by a quarterback without making the Super Bowl.
Like, just make
that is brutal. And and how old is Josh Allen now? 30?
No,
28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, going home to Haley Steinfeld every night is nice.
Sure.
And the Super Bowl is nicer.
In 10 years.
Well, I mean, you'd like to have both.
In 10 years when the arm talent's gone and he's
Josh Allen,
most likely retired.
Throw that in there.
It's going to be a knock.
Anything in the NBA? I know that a bunch of guys are on the All-Star team. And
All-Star team's just announced.
Everybody's
All-Star
excited.
starters, apologies. Games getting underway shortly here. Malachi Flynn scored 50 the other day.
Hey, Maxie, did he make it?
He did. He's a starter.
Hey, Maxi's in my top 5 MVP ballot,
See?
I think. I think he's probably 5th, but he's in there.
Try to get out. The 76ers just pull you back in.
Seriously, his second best player is VJ Edgecombe right now, who's a rookie who's really regressed from the first month of the season. Still
Yeah,
playing
he's
well.
gone backwards. All right. Lots of football talk, lots of Oilers talk, and trade talk, because there's been a couple. On the way, Rachel Krychak will join us from Betalytics, talking Oilers, talking deals, and talking a wild Eastern Conference and 3 really good teams, 2 of whom can make the playoffs, but I don't think all 3 will. We'll talk about it. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Hey, Ed.
Here's Boucher hitting the line. Wallman, Bouchard.
For 42 online. Good game. Davis at 42 online. It's good. And the Los Angeles Rams go to the championship game with an overtime win in Chicago. Good game. Davis at 42 online. It's good. And the Los Angeles Rams go to the championship game with an overtime win in Chicago. Good game. Command in motion. Williams drifting, sprinting for space, in all kinds of trouble, putting it up for grabs. Command in motion.
Visit Nisku Ford today or browse our new inventory at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Sports 1440 brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. For those of you texting in, offering support dogs for Declan, he's fine. The Bills lost. He's upset about it. He's a grown-ass man. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. 12:38. We're now joined by Rachel Krychak from Betalytics. Rachel, how are you?
I'm good. I had to console my brother about the Bills, and I hope they hire Mike McDaniel because it'd be cool to see what he can do with a real quarterback.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, Buffalo Bills fans, thinking about what should have happened and what they could maybe do, but there's some work to do there for sure. All right, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, this is the riddle you need to solve today among many. The Oilers are getting great goaltending, but also look more structurally sound now. Is this solely about the goalies, or has the team maybe adjusted or simply playing more confident in front of goalies that they believe in?
I think it's a little bit of both. So I remember way back, I was in my early 20s when the Devils hired me. And one of the things that they wanted me to look into was how teams play in front of a goalie with a 900 save percentage versus below 900. And obviously that mark has moved a little bit. But one of the things that came out of that was teams who have a goaltender that we'll call them confident they can make a routine save. they're more willing to do different things. And so in this situation, the Oilers are getting better goaltending. And because of that, they're more confident in the plays that they make, and they're more willing to make plays that potentially they would not have been comfortable making prior, because they know that if the play doesn't go perfectly, they're probably going to get a save. And so I think this is a scenario where the Oilers are absolutely playing better, but they're also getting better goaltending. And so it's kind of like all the ships rise with the tide, in the sense that the goaltending is the tide at this point, and everyone is sort of getting elevated because of it. And so you get good goaltending, and then the players are more confident, they're making better plays. And because the players are making better plays and they feel more confident, then there's less structure that's required in terms of what you give up. So they're giving up less. And so I just think it's kind of one of those situations where everyone's getting better all together.
That's a really good point. Let me ask you about this. Vasily Podkolzin, Connor McDavid makes an unreal, out of this world play, and he just drills a dart pass to the net front, which doesn't do anything unless Podkolzin knows enough to go to the net. So my question is he a 20 goal scorer based on the fact that he's playing with such elite talents as McDavid and Draisaitl? And did the Canucks make a mistake in trading him?
Yeah, that was a preposterous pass. And I think there's only two other players who can make that specific pass. One of them is Leon Draisaitl, and the other one is Sidney Crosby. Like, that is how insane that pass was. As it pertains to Vasily Podkolzin, I've watched this player since the year before his draft year. I thought the Canucks took him maybe a little high. Like, I thought they should have gone with Boldy in that year. But at the time, and I still have like my notes from that year, I thought Podkolzin was going to be a solid middle six secondary scoring contributor. And I think 20 goals, specifically if he's playing with Draisaitl or McDavid, is certainly within the realm of possibility. This is a player who's very smart. He forechecks really well. He's kind of like a poor man's Zach Hyman, who's Russian at this point. And so, yeah, he's not going to score 55 goals, but I think conceivably 20 is certainly a possibility, especially if he continues to play with good habits, continues to get in on the forecheck, continues to win puck battles, and go to the net. He is going to score essentially by accident at least 10 times.
I watched Zach Hyman last night, and I mean, it looked to me like he was trying to, impress the Olympic, the Canadian Olympic management group. Any chance that he'd be an injury replacement? He is healthy now, and he is playing well now.
I love Zach Hyman, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but he should not be ahead of Mark Scheifele, of Connor Bedard, and frankly, he shouldn't be ahead of Sam Bennett either. We do not need a Chris Kunitz situation where you're taking him just because he has chemistry with McDavid. McDavid showed at the Four Nations that he has chemistry with McKinnon, with Point if he plays, with Mitch Marner, who is going to go. And so I don't think that that's necessarily what you want to be doing. I also always err on the side of you need to take the center, because the center can play the wing. Zach Hyman cannot play center. He is a very good winger. He absolutely cannot play center. And so I look at this and I go, Zach Hyman absolutely has had a wonderful season since coming back. But in terms of the Olympics, I think there are at least 4 or 5 forwards ahead of him on the depth chart that I would take before him. And I mean, let's hope, because we're both Canadian, that there are not 5 injuries to deal with up front.
That would be fair. 1244, Rachel Krychak, our guest from Betalytics. Moving off of the Oilers a little bit, we had a deal yesterday and we had one today. So let's start with the Flames Vegas deal. Did the Flames get enough? And does this feel like a little bit like, the Knights have done it again, where they get a guy and then they'll sign him and he'll be around until he's, not Hanifin anymore?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like when I saw, no extension is part of this, it's like, okay, really? Because like Noah Hanifin didn't come with an extension either. It kind of feels like if Vegas makes a trade, it's almost a foregone conclusion that there's going to be some level of extension at some point. And I mean, if you look at Vegas, like, why do they even show up to the draft at this point? I think they've drafted in the first round like 3 times in terms of players that they've kept. And the only reason they've kept Trevor Connolly is because there are other things attached to Trevor Connolly that make him on the no-fly list for a lot of other teams. I think that this is a scenario where the Flames did pretty good. It was very obvious that Rasmus Anderson was not going to re-sign. And so when you're recouping a guaranteed first-round pick, a potential for a second first-round pick, and a prospect, I think you've got to be really, really happy with this. Underrated in all of this, though, is that Vegas actually now has the requisite cap room because of the retention on Anderson to activate Braden McNabb. So they kind of got like a 2-for-1 situation there where you're getting a whole D pairing. But I do think Calgary did very well here. I saw some people say that they thought it was underwhelming. The potential for 2 first-round picks for a defenseman who isn't in the Norris conversation is very, very good.
I think that's very fair. Now, the one today, the Canucks finally take Trevor Linden's advice and start offloading talent, and Kiefer Sherwood goes to San Jose for a couple of seconds. Does that feel light to you, or is that spot on?
That is, you know what? It's light for what they wanted. It's pretty fair value, in my opinion. The notion that Kiefer Sherwood it was worth a first-round pick and a prospect, which is what was rumored months ago, was preposterous to me. We're talking about a guy who had an elevated shooting percentage, and when you're trading for a player who on a non-contending team, on a basement team, they're naturally going to have elevated numbers because they're playing in a role that they otherwise would not be playing on a better team. Right? If you look at it, he was playing first line minutes for a lot of the time that he had those 17 goals. He is not playing first line on a Stanley Cup contending team. Like he's not, if he was traded to Florida or Vegas or any Tampa Bay, that's not a first line player. So you have to look at it and go, if I'm giving up a first round pick, I better be getting a very, very good player, or at a minimum, like it has to be a center. There's obviously a premium on centers. Kiefer Sherwood's not that. I think getting 2 seconds is totally fine. When you look at it, it's the Canucks are going to have 4 picks that are likely going to be in the top 50 this year because they got San Jose's second round pick, not Colorado's second round pick, which San Jose also owns. So I think this is a fair deal. And I think this is a situation where it was reported that the Canucks were kind of asking for way too much for Kiefer Sherwood, and nobody was going to meet that asking price. And so the moment they brought it down, teams were like, okay, now we're willing to have the conversation with you because you're being reasonable about it. And it's always better to move a player prior to the shine wearing off on his elevated shooting percentage. And he did get hurt. And do you want to be in a scenario near the trade deadline where you can't trade a guy because he's hurt? Right. This is a situation where they took their opportunity to trade him and they made the right decision here.
Where does Panarin go, in your opinion? Like, this is, I mean, he's 34, but 49 goals, 37 goals, 18 this year, probably on the way to another 30-goal season, depending upon how things go.
Yeah. First of all, how is he allowed to do a second retool? Like, I need to know this because ownership / Jeff Gorton sent out the first letter, but then when they were fired, they left Drury with Lafreniere, Kakko, and Panarin. Like you had Zibanejad and Shesterkin. Like a lot of the difficult building was already done. And this is where the teams ended up. So I'm not quite sure why we're in this scenario, but as it pertains to Panarin, he's obviously the most obvious player that's going to get shipped out. I think it's a matter of, are the Rangers willing to retain? And they should be. And what teams are going to really want to take that swing? Could it be Minnesota? My goodness, could it be the San Jose Sharks? I mean, who wouldn't want to see Artemi Panarin playing with Macklin Celebrini? Could it be a scenario where are the Chicago Blackhawks interested because they want to bring him back long term? That's maybe not something I would entertain till this summer, but if you want to get a head start, you already know Panarin loves playing in Chicago. So, I mean, I think there's going to be a whole lot of people interested in this, or a whole lot of teams. It's not just going to be your contenders, because if you can sign him, I mean, that's a fantastic hockey player. Like 30, 35 goal scorers do not grow on trees. If we're talking strictly contender, I think you kind of have to rule Florida out because it sounds like Barkov and Kachuk are going to play in the regular season, so LTIR is going to be off the table. Could it be Dallas because Tyler Sagan's going to be out until for the playoffs? It's tough to say. But I look at this and I go, I think it could be a team that we don't necessarily expect because we're talking about a player that teams are going to want to be at the front of the line for come free agency. And if they believe that they can get a head start on it, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's a good. I was just thinking about all the like Toronto or whatever they got to get there. Speaking of Toronto, the Capitals and Florida are just outside the playoffs currently. I think there's a good chance at least a couple of those teams get in, maybe not three. If you had to pick one of the three to miss the playoffs, what would it be? Toronto, Washington, or Florida?
At this point, based on the injuries, I'd probably pick Toronto to miss the playoffs. William Nylander's not skating. Matthew Nyes has something going on. There's obviously there's no Chris Tanev, and if we're being flatly honest, the Leafs are the most difficult team to trade with because a lot of owners don't want their players going to the Maple Leafs. You can have Vancouver in that conversation. You can have Calgary in that conversation. You can have a couple other teams in that conversation. And so I look at this and I go, I think Toronto's going to be hard pressed to acquire assets that aren't at an elevated cost. They're in a scenario where they shouldn't be acquiring assets at an elevated cost. And if you are missing William Nylander and Matthew Nyes, that's a giant problem. So I think most likely to miss probably the Leafs. Having said that, I think Florida really needs to get on the horse here or they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, they elevated and then it's so hard to catch up on 6 teams, right?
If you look at the Atlantic, the Leafs have been the best team since Christmas in the entire NHL, and they've made up almost no ground because the records in the Atlantic, teams are winning 8 of 11 and 9 of 12, and so it's and then you also have the fact that every game is going to overtime in the Eastern Conference. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. And so it's extremely difficult to catch ground unless you are winning 10, 11, 12 in a row. I mean, look at Buffalo. They won, 11 in a row? And they're still only in a wild card position and kind of in deep here. And I think that's the team that a lot of people have questions about. Are they going to be able to maintain this? I think Montreal kind of is in that same boat. But you look at it, the Atlantic is, at least right now, far and away, top to bottom, the best division in hockey. And I think that the top part of the division, that belongs to the Central with Colorado, Dallas, and to a degree, Minnesota. But I think top to bottom, the Atlantic's the hardest division to play in right now.
Yeah, I asked this just selfishly because I didn't believe in the Bruins at the beginning of the year. I will give them full credit for playing way better, and getting scoring from maybe some unusual spots. They've won 6 in a row. But I mean, and as part of me as a fan, I tend to be glass half empty fan, but I just don't see them being able to sustain this. Am I wrong? Are they just really that good?
I wouldn't say that you're wrong in the sense that they're a pretty good hockey team, but how are you going to make up ground when every team in the Atlantic is winning 8 of 10 or 8 of 11? It's impossible, which is why I think Florida is going to really struggle. That's why Toronto's really struggling. That's why Buffalo, even with their run, they struggled. And so I think the Bruins are a better team than people think they are. The problem that you have is with the way that the NHL does its dumb standings, sometimes you're just not going to be there. I was looking at it and there's 6 Atlantic teams that would be in the top 2, outside of Carolina, they'd be in the top 3 playoff spots in the Metropolitan. At some point, could we just go back to 1 to 8? And the only guarantee is that if you win your division, so let's go 2 division winners and then 3 to 8 is basically okay. Whoever the best teams are after that. This is it. I'm so tired of it. And then the playoff implications in terms of the fact that 2 of Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota are going to be out by the time the second round rolls along. I'm sorry, I would way rather watch a Dallas Colorado conference final if those are the 2 best teams in in the Western Conference. And so to me, I think Boston is better than people give them credit for. They're similar to teams like Toronto and Ottawa and Montreal over the last couple of years. Like, they're a product of playing in one of the best divisions in hockey, if not the best division in hockey, when you look at the fact that the Stanley Cup has been over the last, call it, 6 years.
Nuge played his 1,000th game. He was honored last night, scored a goal. Great stuff. Beloved in this town. And he's face-offs are good, can penalty kill. He's a power play wizard. There's been a lot of star talent in Edmonton over the last, 15 years or 14, however long he's been here. But Nuge has sustained, and he's got a range of skills, and he's a player that maybe people overlook, but there's a lot to appreciate.
Yeah, ironically, I've watched a lot of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, even going back to his rookie year, because I have a much younger sister, who couldn't stand hockey, but for whatever reason was really attached to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and that's the only hockey jersey she owns. So she's always asking me for updates on him, so I am by force. I'm forced to watch him. I think number one overall, like with the benefit of hindsight, he's not your typical number one overall pick, but I also wouldn't consider him a bust. No. And it's hard to consider any pick a bust when they've played 1,000 games with your organization. Like, they're clearly pretty good. But I think with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he was lucky in the sense that the Oilers were able to get guys like McDavid and Draisaitl in, and he didn't have to be that first line center, because I don't think he would be a first line center on a cup contending team. But he's also a guy that I don't think the Oilers would have the runs to the cup final without him. He, like you mentioned, extraordinarily good on the penalty kill. He can shut players down. He produces offense. He's a key member of their power play. And so when you look at it, you can't really say that he's been a bust or he's been a failure or he's not a valuable piece of that Oilers core. I would say outside of McDavid and Draisaitl, he's been the Oilers' most important player over the last decade.
Yep, I think that's fair. Rachel, have a great week. Thank you for this.
No problem. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, there you go. Rachel Krychak from Betalytics. You find her on Twitter. Writes for ESPN. Very, very enjoyable Monday afternoon chat. Jason Gregor coming on the way in hour number 2. We're going to talk more NFL and college football as well. And we'll have Declination's Mama MMA at 1:40. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors, Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 to 2, or visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. Scores in the NHL right now. Hurricanes and Sabres tied 1-1 in the second period. Caps and Avalanche set to go in about an hour's time. Penguins and Kraken will go at 3. The late game tonight in the NHL will see the Islanders and Canucks and the Rangers and the Ducks. In the NBA, 2 games on right now. Bucks lead the Hawks 82-74 with 11 minutes to go in the fourth, and the Thunder up 23-12 on the Cavs with about 5:45 remaining in the first quarter. AJHL action tonight will see Olds and Lloydminster and Bonnyville and Canmore, part of the AJHL showcase from the Marching Crane Centrium. In the college football world, we do have the national title tonight, Miami and Indiana, with a 5:30 kickoff. News around the sporting world. The Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott after falling short of the Super Bowl once again. Seahawks running back Zach Charbonnet is ruled out for the rest of the playoffs with a knee injury. And that's going to do it for us here in Hour 1. Up next, Hour 2 of the Lowdown with Lowetide. I'm Declan Krueger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440 Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action.
Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
The Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven, and we're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Hour number 2, we have Jason Krueger talking about Nuge's 1,000 games, what he means to this organization. NFL weekend. Wow. I mean, by the time you get to this point, your team losing is an absolute heart. It's crushing. You know, the Eagles lost, but they won a Super Bowl the previous year. Bills losing now really, really hurts. We'll talk about that this hour. There's a big game tonight, football, college football, national championship. It really is the impossible dream brought to, you know, your television screen in a national championship for an unlikely club even a couple of years ago. That's a wild story, and we'll look forward to seeing it play out tonight. Ryan says, Nuge was drafted as Datsik Light and turned out to be Bergeron Light without the flowers after going number 1 instead of second round. Hell of a player always, one whose value and contribution has been forever unquantifiable. Well, I think that he's been important to the Oilers because he has a 200-foot game. And, he really did out of the box. He was a very aware player. And he's been valuable in that. He's still a great power play guy, great penalty killer. And that range of abilities, that utility, has been a really nice fit for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, we can talk all day about, Leon's two-way play, and it has improved. I mean, he's getting Selke votes. He's outstanding. And McDavid is, often 200 feet from his own net, and that is its own effective defense when you're playing so much offense and doing so well at it. But Nuge is a guy who's, in the traditional way, a two-way center/wing. And the only complaint the coaching staff probably has is they can't clone him, because I'm sure they'd like to. They'd like to have him on the first line and on the third line. The biggest change for the Oilers in the last two games is they running 4 lines. Big Bad Joe. Yeah, they're not. I mean, last night they really didn't. The injury to Kapanen impacted that, but the fourth line often, whatever it is, doesn't run a lot. Now, I'll tell you what. One thing I will buy is that Curtis Lazar is playing so much better. He's forcing minutes. And I really don't like, calling out players, especially when they're hurt. But Adam Henrique not being in the middle, I think has made this team more effective and faster. And I like Henrique. When he gets back, I wonder if they ever try running him on the wing. I don't know that they would, but it would be a consideration. Who would you have taken over Nuge in the draft? Well, I do a ranking every year, so I can tell you that. It'll take a minute or two. Do we have a minute or two, boys, or is that too much to ask?
Oh, we got more than a minute or two. Are they talking about like at the time, by the way? They must be, right? Because going back, there's a pretty obvious 1-1.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we're talking about the day it happened.
Yeah. He felt like a pretty slam dunk first overall pick to me back then.
Well, I do a ranking and I do it every year, which like you want to talk about you guys being nerds. You got a long way to go to get to me. For 20 years now have been doing a draft list. I don't think I did one this year, but that would be the first one I didn't do ever. And I put together a top 120 picks. Oh yeah.
It's super fun to do.
It is. Let me just see here. Where did I do it here? There it is. If I could only had a brain. It's not working.
I'm going to go ahead and I'll bet you had Nuge as your number 1.
Well, it was either him or Sean Couturier. Honestly, I do
Couturier
know that.
Go 5th?
Yeah, he went a little bit later. But I mean, they were both great, and they were both similar players too. Like that's the thing that maybe isn't known or whatever is that they were both similar players.
Yeah, he went 8th. My bad.
Yeah, he's good though, and he didn't get interviewed a lot. He was very quiet. Like here's my final top 30. You ready for my time? I'll give you the top 5. Okay,
sure. Wait. Are you going to go 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
Okay, I'll go 5 to 1.
All right, there we go.
All right, Ryan Strome 5. Jonathan Huberdeau 4, Adam Larson 3, Sean Couturier 2, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was 1.
Wait, so you had Strome 5, Huberdeau 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said about Nuge, I think the separation comes down to things like first step quickness, ability to make plays, and anticipation. The numbers suggest there are 4 forwards in a tight group at the top, but the Somme good group have all reached the same conclusion that it's Nuge. And that's, that's going back a long, long way, I had you both going in the top 20 in your draft years. Way to let me down, boys.
Huge. Which sport?
Well, boxing and identifying good movies.
The boxing draft?
Hey, yeah. I definitely went in the top 20.
Sure. And you especially were strong because we decided that year to not include any Brad Pitt movie opinions. So that really helped.
Listen, in the identifying good movies draft, I went top 3. I think.
The least surprising thing is you putting yourself in the top 3 in any draft. That's a no-brainer.
Listen, man, I know movies.
Sure you do.
So
what's your favorite movie?
Stand By Me.
Great movie. Yeah. I can't disagree.
We've had that conversation many a time.
No.
I'm just looking at the 2011 draft right now. Cooch is obviously, you're redrafting this. He goes 1-1.
Oh, sure.
Obviously, it's not even a debate. You missed that in your prospects.
Well, no, but he wasn't as highly rated.
Yeah. No, I'm aware.
The day
I'm
of
aware.
the draft.
I get it.
He did more after the draft than anybody.
I'm just looking at you.
All right.
Does number 2 go to Johnny Hockey? Or does that go to someone else?
You know what? You could make a good case for it.
I was looking, man. I'm like, I don't mind Scheifele at number 2.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too. Scheifele's there.
And Scheifele was a little more highly rated than
it's
Cooch
definitely not Huberdeau. That's for sure.
Although it could have been after that 23 season. Or 22 season?
22 season, because that's when he had the 100 points. Then him and Kachuk traded for each other. And he's never been the same since.
Well,
got better every year of his career. And I'm like, oh my God, we got a guy. Nothing.
This is old school, man. Andrew. Surprised LT didn't have Musil number 1. I had Musial in the first round. I think I had him 31st back in the day. Frank's boy, David. Deck, take it from a 40-year fan who's seen the highs and lows of drafting 78 and so many lows. They are cursed. It won't get better. It simply is what it means to be a fan. If you don't know that at this time, a deep threat wide receiver would cost them, you need to look at their history. McDermott firing is likely the best path forward. If at this point you hope Allen can have Elway-like back half of his career. My hope is to be like LT, 5 long to see them win the Super Bowl. He did it. Well, I did. And that's why, people always get mad at me because I'm an Eagles fan. I go, well, I don't think, but I understand. I was cheering for them in 1973 and they won what in 2017?
Yes.
Okay. So let's 73. That's before the turn of the century. That'd be 27 years. Then another 17. That's 44 years of fandom. And then they finally win. You guys are in the early stages.
It's true. It's true. We have long lives. Unfortunately for Buffalo fans,
it's been dark.
But also,
it's been bad.
maybe you're testing the gods by doing what you do on those tables at the steak things,
the thing
barbecues.
Is,
I've seen some
tailgates.
There's some stuff happening there, man, and it's not warm weather.
No, it's warm tables though. That's for sure.
It was so heartbreaking before my time with the 4 straight losses. And then it was so bad for so long. And then it was finally supposed to get turned around. And obviously this is better than the alternative. But it's like at some point, the next step needs to be taken and it's not being taken. And that's what's so frustrating.
But
it just was taken.
You have so many holes though, right? This is not if this was last year's team playing yesterday, maybe you win it.
I don't know. Did Rob Walton still send the check before the game to the ref's office?
Oh,
Dinger.
This is deeply ingrained in you. We're gonna hear some ref stuff.
When those refs are at their family gathering next summer showing off their Super Bowl rings, it's all gonna be worth it. And when game 1 of the regular season comes around and they get to raise those banners in the referee locker room, it's all gonna be worth it.
It's not just the refs because they would have reviewed it, right?
That's the thing. They didn't really. That was the biggest gripe, I would say. I mean, my biggest gripe is that I thought Brandon Cooks caught it 100%. But they'll take 15 minutes to review a second down in the first quarter. They can't, McDermott takes a timeout and they still can't go and review this one for an extended period of time. That's the craziest part.
Well,
99% of being a sports fan is just being a loser, though.
It is literally one team wins every year, and that's just the way it is.
I think it was 2017. I remember when the Eagles won the first Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah. So in 1990, I remember very well the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup. I was up all night. I was wandering around aimlessly like I usually do, and I was having a blast. And then finally, I thought I better go home, so I did. But it was I felt like there'd be more. And then the Eskimos won some championships.
Sure.
But the 76ers didn't. The Eagles sure as hell didn't. The Oilers did not. And that was a bit of a disappointment. And the Expos died. They died.
They didn't die. They were murdered.
1994, they would have won the World Series and I would have been able to celebrate that. But from 1990 until 2017, if you're talking about NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, that was from 1990 to 2017. I didn't have anything really. And when it happened again, I was like, oh my God, I forgot what it's like. This is so awesome.
Yeah. Now, imagine if Donovan and Declan melded into one person.
Oh, God. I would quit.
And Donovan was like, here, you take my baseball team. You're where our favorite baseball team is now the Jays. And Declan was like, you get to have my football team. They're both Bills and Jays fans. In the last 5 years, you've lost in the Stanley Cup final twice. You've lost to the Chiefs 4 out of 6 years.
No.
The Jays lost in the World Series.
No.
And then Deck is like, here, you know what? Actually, also be a Heat fan who has lost twice in the finals in this decade alone.
To LeBron and Jokic, like it was LeBron and Jokic. I can't get a break.
Like Declan literally has the worst sports fandom imaginable. I mean, like, I'm not saying the Reds are exactly like what it's all cracked up to be.
No,
but like at least he didn't have to watch them go to Game 7 of the World Series in extras and then watch his team lose.
You know,
right?
like similar to that, I have a friend who's obviously an Oilers Jays, and he's an Arsenal fan. And Arsenal over in EPL, they like I think they're going to win it this year, but they've been second for like the past however many years. Like it's been crazy.
That's a pretty wild record that you broke out there, Josh.
Like just think about that, because that person exists.
Yeah, no,
and there's more than one of those people. Yeah. Now think about, I don't really care how you feel about the hockey landscape personally, but you know, like I sympathize with the fact that like this decade looks like it should be shaping up for guys like Declan and their sports fandoms,
right.
Or I guess like the Heat are sort of past that now, but it looked like it was going to be off to a roaring start.
It did.
And it has been 5 straight years of nothing
misery,
but getting kicked in the nuts.
Chris says, "Hey Declan, stop cheering for my team." LMAO.
Wish I could, brother. Wish I could.
That's what I always say. People, they'll say to me, "Well, why don't you just cheer for the Blue Jays because you were an Expo fan?" They're going, it doesn't work like that. You don't. Yeah. It's not like you go in and buy a loaf of bread. You are attached to what you're attached to. Right?
It was like that tweet that went out last week or whatever. That was like, "Oh, you've got your childhood team, your favorite team, and the team that you have a sympathy for," and everyone was like, "It was that Inglourious Bastards clip of him holding up the Ron 3." And it's like childhood team versus favorite team. No. You pick it and you stay with it.
Right. And that you are, even when they become defunct, which is the worst word in sport, they're still your team.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. 116 on the way. Jason Gregor. We're going to talk about 1,000 games for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the Kasperi Kapanen injury, and what a wild NFL weekend. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. Check them out. WolfGMCBuick.com. Joined now by Jason Krueger. 1,000 games for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I remember when he was drafted.
Yeah.
And what a career he's had.
He's had a very good career, yes. Probably maybe a little bit underrated career when you start to look at his numbers. And there's a very good chance that Nuge will end his career as a top 100 point guy in the history of the NHL. So, he's never been the best player on your team. He's not a dominant player. He's pretty reliable. You kind of know what you get. And as a coach, there's lots of value in that. And probably fitting that he scored on a kind of prototype Nugent-Hopkins shot to score. You saw, I don't know if people saw it on TV or not, but McDavid's reaction, because he had circled high outside the blue line. And he almost jumped in the air a little bit. And, it's a 1-0 goal in a game, but it just showed you kind of how important it was. He's very well liked by his teammates, and they have fun with these things now. He gets his shirt, and then they're mimicking his warm up and stuff like that, which is great. And the fans obviously showing their appreciation, big cheers, and then the Nugent-Hopkins chant, which I'd never heard before actually from them. So good coordination, whoever got that going in the crowd. And Edmonton, my God, St. Louis looks terrible right now. They really do. Their power play is beyond pathetic right now, just generating nothing. And so the Oilers, 5 games in 7 days. In the last 2 games, you're maybe a little fatigued. You're all in different cities, and you get back-to-back shutouts, so that's good. But now they'll get some rest.
Yeah.
And the next 2 weeks here are very low maintenance, no travel. You're home every day. It's the first really long homestand of the season. Their next 4 games out starting tomorrow night: Jersey, Pittsburgh, Washington, Anaheim. Every one of them is playing their 3rd game in 4 nights and second half of a back-to-back.
Beautiful.
There is no reason to not take advantage of these scheduling advantages. Everybody gets them, but you got to take advantage of it now. And I know that some people try to downplay the fact that the Oilers haven't won 3 in a row. I'm not. I think it's embarrassing that they haven't. And here's a chance, though.
Yeah,
get on a big run,
now.
right? I think people forget Colorado has 24 of their wins in 3 streaks.
Yeah.
Right? You get on a run, and that's how you go to the top of the
And
standings.
that was always the strength of Knobloch's Oilers the first 2 seasons he was coached. Hasn't happened yet. Maybe this is the opportunity.
Yeah, they haven't, they haven't lost a lot in a row, so that's helped them, right? They've had one, and I think 3-game losing streaks, but 2 of them they got a point in one. But they did have one stretch where they went over in 3 games. But for the most part, they've been able to bounce back, which is good. But this sets up the New Jersey Devils. Now they're playing in Calgary tonight. They could lose. The Devils are not good. They started out, they lost their first game, then they won 8 in a row. They're 8-1. Everyone's like, oh, the Devils are great. You look at the Devils' last 25 games, Al, they're brutal. They're one of the bottom 8 teams in the league. So they don't come in here red hot. You got to, and I know Leon Draisaitl won't be playing, and I know Kapanen won't be playing. Doesn't matter. You should be able to spank him, especially because your goaltenders are playing very good.
A lot of comments online, people fretting over the 3 goalies are going to have to go 11-7, but this is a short-term issue.
Draisaitl will be back on Saturday.
Right. So
it's 2 games more.
I don't think that, they can play 11-7 and survive 2 games, Jason.
Yes. Oh, easily. Or, I do think I know that they're trying to move Mangiapane, and maybe that speeds it up a bit, and you get him dealt this week, and then because if you traded him and you don't bring back $3.6 million, as long as you don't bring back more than 2, then or actually more than 2.5, then you could easily recall another player, and I don't think they're going to want to bring back 2.5. So we'll see what it is. And I've been looking at teams that match, because there's a lots of things you have to look at when it's a trade for it's not. I know that now he did score, good for him, but he's still an NHL player. He's probably a little bit overpaid. That's fine. There's lots of those guys around the league, and he wants to go somewhere where maybe he can get an opportunity. And I was looking at teams who don't have any money really committed to next year. Right, the floor next year is $76 million. the Chicago Blackhawks, now I know Bedard needs a big contract, but Shea Weber comes off their books.
Right.
He's on IR this year, right? So there's 7.6. That goes to Bedard, right? What he's already making. So probably another $4 million on top of that. He's probably going to make 12. I'm going to guess something like that. Maybe more. We'll see. But they're going to need some players. So maybe they would take Mangiapane, and Stan Bowman's like, you know what, give me one of the prospects that I drafted who hasn't really panned out. And I'll say this about Bowman. They've done pretty well in their pro scouting of 21, 22, 23-year-old guys to get them to say, hey, at least the Oilers now have a stockpile of 4 or 5 players in the minors where you say, hey, if they come up here, they could at least play. Like I look at, I watch Ike Howard very closely, Al, and not a difference maker yet. He makes some good plays, but he makes a lot of inexperienced plays.
Not consistent either.
Yeah, makes a lot of inexperienced plays. Like, you know, especially when he's trying to come around the defenseman, big D-men like Parayko kind of ate his lunch on numerous occasions last night. And that's okay. He's a rookie. But, you know, so having young guys doesn't mean they're all ready to pop at the NHL. It just means that, hey, can this guy be a minute filler? Yes. And they've got a few minute fillers with potential to be more.
Canucks blew it on Podkolzin, man. Like, he's a real player.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just smoking. This is...
He's got 12, 5 and 5
drives
goals.
to the net, and McDavid makes a crazy play, but it doesn't mean a damn thing if Podkolzin doesn't have the awareness to go to the net.
Yeah, and, you know, he's working on he's a real diligent worker. His teammates love him because of how much time he puts in. Like, the veteran guys, like McDavid and Draisaitl are great because they put in a lot of time. So when they see other guys putting in time, it resonates with them, and they really respect it. They like it, and he plays hard. He's physical, and... You know, you look at Vancouver, and it's just, there's lots of guys now. He was a 10th overall pick, Al. And I think there's lots of organizations and lots of fans and lots of media who look at the guy where he's drafted. Well, he's got to be a number 10 overall pick in value all the time. And the truth of the matter is, not every 10th overall pick gives you 10th overall value, right? Like, they're not all Evan Bouchard. So, right? They just don't. No. So everybody's going to be different. But Podkolzin's found himself a role here. And, you know, I think he's still the next 3 years of his deal. I won't be surprised if we see him just, you know, incremental improvements all the time.
I saw your reporting on Kasperi Kapanen. He is out, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be a long.
Yeah, I saw him actually as I was interviewing Hyman. He walked right. Anybody who's maybe haven't been in the room, but the room is pretty open and there's like an entrance on either side. And so you can he was coming from like the shower area and was walking very briskly. No limp, nothing. I'm like, okay, well, that's a good sign. Yeah. He's obviously, and it was such a weird, like, he just lost an edge.
Yeah, it happens.
Fell. And if you watched him get up, that's where I thought, okay, this can't be serious. So he was down on his knees, Al, and then he literally just sprung up both of his feet. If that was his knee or anything that's really bothering him, you know, you're getting up on one knee, like a lunge almost, and then you press up. He didn't do that. So, you know, he's obviously not playing tomorrow. We'll see how long he's out, but doesn't sound like it's as long as last time. And that's too bad because, man, since coming back from injury, he was, like, you think, big, strong, everything that he should be as a player, he's showing. And, man, if he could just stay healthy this year, and honestly, the Olympic break might be great for him, gets an extra 3 weeks off because you need him healthy down the stretch. I think he really adds a lot and fills out your top 9 incredibly well.
How do you feel? I just feel I love them, but I feel they're too small as a group. The Roslovic line with Howard and Savard.
They're a regular season line out.
Right.
Like right now, they're fine. Yeah. But like I have no illusions of Grant. You can tell me what their shot for percentage and their expected goal for percentage is all day until you're blue in the face. It means nothing to me come playoff time. And all I did is I watched very specifically last night. Not any bad plays, but there's lots of times in the offensive zone, Howard's getting the puck and nothing happens. And that's okay because the NHL's hard.
Yeah.
And you learn as a rookie sometimes where you can make a little deke or a dangle and where you got to chip it in. And, you know, they don't have anybody who's naturally there to go to the net. And that's why I said, if I put Nuge as my third line center, because look at him play center again last night. He plays better as a center.
Yeah.
Right. I can move Roslovic back to the wing. Right. I've got Kapanen, I got Coles, and I've got Hyman. I do believe they're going to add another winger. That's why I've said it all year long. Top 6 wingers, what they need. So they get another winger. Well, if Roslovic's on my quote third line with Nugent Hopkins, I'm fine. Or I could put Roslovic with Draisaitl and Podkolzin, and I have Kapanen on my third line because he's a big body who's strong, who skates, can win battles, and can go to the front of the net. He's a little bit bigger. So you have Hyman, then you have Podkolzin, then you have Kapanen, one on each line. Right. And then you have Draisaitl, McDavid, and Nugent Hopkins, one on each line. And then the other guys just kind of fill in the spots.
Sherwood's gone with San Jose.
Yes.
Panarin's going. He's like 12 million.
Yeah, but he's 5.8 right now. He'd be actually way less than that this year because if the Rangers retain half, which I'm assuming they would, plus when he gets dealt, he'll be like 30% of the 50%.
Right.
Now, his playoff cap hit will be 5.8 automatically. That's the new rule, right?
Yeah.
But hey, if you could get Panarin now, the Oilers don't like to acquire just pure rentals, if we've noticed,
right?
And I actually agree with that strategy. To give up a first rounder for a one year run, not a big fan of it. But if you give up a first rounder for guys that signed 3-4 years, well, that's totally different. So
he'd be a hell of a get.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if Edmonton has the money to make that work. Like, you'd probably have to get Henrique to waive his no movement clause, and not sure. Like, I know that Mangiapane is and wants to, and now he has a no trade, not a no move, so it's slightly different. But
that doesn't get you there, though. You'd need more than just.
Oh yeah, you'd have to do more than that for sure. Like, you're giving up your first rounder 100%.
Yeah.
If you're doing Panarin, but I'm just looking at the money, right? You got to have Henrique, and then there's going to have to be someone else as well.
Yeah. Like, I don't know the answer, and I do know that the goaltenders are playing really well, but it feels like the Oilers are more organized.
Their
now.
team defense is looking like it did. Like, it's shocking when you don't now. Ingram and Jari have made some good saves, but this weekend, did Vancouver have any real great chances?
No.
Did St. Louis have any really great chances? No. And that's good. Like, goalies will tell you, hey, they got to feel the puck, so they feel good. I thought Ingram made some big saves against the Islanders, right? Didn't have a ton of shots, but the few that he did were pretty big.
I can't remember the total, but it was a large total of high danger.
Even Chicago, they had a few. So, but you know what? You got to give up some chances. I don't expect your team to just be stalwarts defensively and your goalie just stands between the net and has to do nothing. But yeah, like, Ingram's been really good. And honestly, Jari, because he's been injured twice this year, I'm not playing him back-to-back now until after the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go Jari tomorrow night. Now it's Pittsburgh. So that's the other one. So Jari probably, maybe you go Ingram again tomorrow, Al. So then you go Jari against Pittsburgh, right? Because if you go Jari tomorrow, then you probably got to play him again on Thursday.
Right. Good point.
I would just rotate. Hey, look at Stuart Skinner's numbers in Pittsburgh. He's rotated every second game.
Yeah.
In his last, I was looking at Ingram's numbers, right? Guys who have started at least 9 games, since he came up. At least 6 games since he came up. Ingram's top 10 in everything. He's top 10 in wins. He's top 10 in games played. He's top 10 in save percentage. Top 10 in goals against. Well, Stuart Skinner leads in goals against, and he's second in save percentage. But he's only playing every second game.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, some goalies are just better
playing every second game.
And so with Jari's injuries, they might play him 2 in a row, but I don't see why. Like, why would I have Ingram sit out that long when he's playing this good?
Yeah. Wild football weekend. Like, Declan over
I can't believe, you know what I learned on the weekend, Al? Most people don't understand what a catch is supposed to be. That's the obvious thing that I saw.
Including people who are officials.
Yeah, well, but no, if you watch the play, and people think because you have the ball in your hand, the minute you touch the ground, you're down. That's not how it works. The catches never work that way. Like, people trying to compare the Adams play to that is so beyond moronic. It makes no sense. Adam has a catch. He runs a few steps and then his knee's down. That's when you're down. It's like a running back, right? If you're running the ball and then you go down because you have possession.
Your knees down.
But it's not deemed possession because you have the ball in the air. He comes down, and the one replay that came from the backside was perfect. Bro, he never had the ball. He comes down. He does touch for a second, and as he rolls over, the ball's gone. He never had control of that ball. It's not a catch. Like, I'm sorry people get upset about it, but that's not what cost him the game. Let's make no mistake out. The fumble at the end of the first half that gave up 3 points was atrocious. Yeah. And even if you want to complain about refs, Buffalo fans, the game should have ended when you had a holding call in the end zone and they didn't call it on your guy, because that would have been automatic safety and it would have been game over. So the refs didn't cost him. You had all the turnovers. You're not going to win a playoff game with 5 turnovers.
The Allen play at the end of the half to me was egregious, because he's running all day, but like, there's, I don't know how many ticks there are
around him.
Where the hell you going? Go down, right?
There was no one around him. That was not
sense of the moment.
Like, it's funny. Josh Allen has been great. If Lamar Jackson had that game, people are freaking out, but everyone's like, oh, Josh, what a battler, what a warrior. That was not a good game. And to his credit, he knew it.
Yeah.
He came out in the press conference and he was very distraught because he knew he didn't play as well. Now, the team, you know what? They were still in it despite all the turnovers. But hey, they weren't good. It's like CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud was terrible. Terrible for Houston.
I think I like Seattle right now. I got to look at it all, but I mean, Seattle looks pretty damn good.
Buddy, they look really good. Like I thought they were going to beat the 49ers, and I had them. I took even with the 7.5 point spread. Just, George Kittle, lots of injuries, and San Fran. I'm sorry, they didn't have a tough schedule this year, right? Like, look at the Patriots. The Patriots might have the easiest schedule of all time if they get to the Super Bowl here.
Yeah.
And hey, it's not their fault. You play who you play, but right now, I'm going to take the Rams or the Seahawks.
Yeah,
I think
whoever wins that game.
To me, whoever wins that game wins the Super Bowl.
That's fair. What's coming up on the show?
Kevin Woodley will be by. We'll talk some goaltending, of course. The Devils, the Penguins, the Capitals coming in this week for the orders, and also Ingram and there, but even a guy like Connor Unger down in the minors playing pretty well. What about Matt Tompkins? Look at the orders right now. You got your AHL goalies playing well. You got your NHL goalies playing well. It's like, are we living in a bizarro world? What the hell's going on? So
the ECHL guys are doing
good.
It's
so
craziness.
It's a good problem to have. We'll also set up some. Hey, if Braden Point is out, Al, and I know that people outside of Edmonton, they want to claim it's a homer. Anybody who's listened to my show over years knows I'm not a homer, but I just look at pure fit as a right winger to play with McDavid. That's what I'm talking about. Fit there. Now, if Zach Hyman plays my fourth line in the Olympics, I know he can forecheck. He's responsible defensively. I have no problem with it.
No.
But when you look at a right winger, now you've got Scheifele. He's not a right winger. Doesn't even shoot right. Now you got Connor Bedard. He shoots right. But Connor Bedard is a puck transporter. You're not doing that with McDavid. And he's not a guy who's battling in the corners. That's not his forte. I don't expect him to change.
Right.
Sam Bennett's physical, but he's a left shot and he's a center. It's not a right winger.
And I don't necessarily think you got to think the game with McDavid. And I don't know that he would do that.
And, well, he might, because they did play together way back when. But he's also a left shot. He's played center, and I love Sam Bennett. I was kind of surprised he wasn't on the team as a center. But if I'm looking for a guy, because Braden Point I had as my right winger on the line one with McDavid. Now maybe you could put Stone there. Stone's playing really well this year, so you probably could do it. Mitch Marner doesn't work with McDavid. I think we saw that the last time. So I just look at Zach Hyman and I say, hey, you could take Scheifele. And I don't think at the end of the day it's going to matter, right? I think Canada's going to win regardless of if Braden Point can't go and whoever replaces him, I think they're going to win. But if I was looking just as a pure best fit in a short tournament for a guy who's got the most goals in the NHL, right? Over the last 20 games, he's got 17 goals now in his last 20 games.
No.
He's playing exceptionally well. And Doug Armstrong, like, how could you not watch last night and be like, maybe I at least got to consider it?
That tip was just.
Yeah, well, what about, hey, even a one-timer from Hyman from distance? We never see that. So we'll talk about that and just why fit matters more than just straight up pure skill.
All right. Look forward to it. Thanks, Jason.
Have a good one. Go Augustana.
Yeah, man. You going to watch the football game today?
No, it's my mother-in-law's big birthday party, so
Nice.
we'll be doing that.
You're doing the right thing.
Yes, but I'll be watching the highlights later on.
There you
It's
go.
a big
All right.
dinner tonight.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Al.
All right, coming up, Declinations, Mama MMA, and I know he's going to talk football too. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for
Oh,
that,
I know he was
we are
sneaking
thankful.
it.
If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our
the
seasoned
problem is-
professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at
You
Wolf
know, it's the
GMC Buick.
host that you can argue it. It's a little different when you're asking his opinion.
We're making it easy.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the
God, I
tax.
remember when-
Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca. You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. See my confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all three by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancelia. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancelia.com.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Get me now.
For Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Yeah, I like ABBA. Might have to listen to them on the way home. Either that or Zuma by Neil Young, Crazy Horse. Or I might listen to Krueger. Sounds like you got a really good show. Time for Declinations, brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out new website, elksnation.ca. Article, podcast, and more breaking down the green and gold. Most in-depth double-E football coverage online, elksnation.ca. Young Declan, how are you?
Doing great. UFC returning this weekend. UFC 324 for the American viewers, the debut on Paramount Plus. It's going to stay the same for us Canadian viewers until the Sportsnet deal runs out. I don't know what that contract looks like, but yeah, it's going to be the prelims on Sportsnet. Main card is still going to be pay-per-view for us, but they have loaded this one up with fun all-action fights. I will say that. Like, Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett's going to be headlining this one for the interim UFC lightweight championship. There's kind of rumors that maybe by the time Saturday rolls around, it'll be for the vacant lightweight championship. Paddy Pimblett is a guy who got fast-tracked by gifted opponent after gifted opponent. And Michael Chandler, his most recent opponent, still a gifted opponent, was someone I thought was actually going to finally be able to cause problems for him, because Paddy's always been pretty defensively irresponsible. He keeps his chin up in the air. Yeah, he can take a shot. I give him that credit. Like he always says, we're Scousers. We don't get knocked out. He's got a beard on him, but he puts himself in harm's way. I thought it was going to come to a head against Michael Chandler, and it didn't. He was able to control Michael Chandler in the grappling. He was able to beat him up. He landed a beautiful knee in that fight. And he's a guy who is kind of finally, maybe you're like, wow, this guy, he's better than we thought. He's better than we thought he was. We thought he was just going to be a guy who was kind of like a fun all-action fighter, but he's finally developed into someone who can be a top-tier caliber fighter. And now he gets a chance to fight Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight title. And like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if this fight was scheduled, you would have thought it was like you would have thought the matchmakers were signing Paddy Pimblett up for murder. But now, all of a sudden, like we have a real matchup here. And I think Paddy Pimblett has a lot of ways to win the fight. I don't know what direction I'm going to lean. If I had to pick one right now, I think Paddy Pimblett can probably take Justin Gaethje into deep waters and he can drown him. Like Justin Gaethje carries a lot of power in his hands, and Paddy still does have some of those defensive irresponsibilities. But I look at what, Paddy seems to do well, which is just weather the storm, be creative, be kind of awkward. And I think matchup wise, that's going to pose problems for Justin Gaethje. Like Justin is a guy with a wrestling background, but no one really thinks of him as an overly strong wrestler. He can use it. He does have it in the arsenal. But I think like anytime the fight's on the mat with the jiu-jitsu credentials of Paddy Pimblett, he's going to have the advantage. And quite frankly, like I like what I see on the feet more than I had before. So I think I got to roll with Paddy. And again, like 3 years ago, you would have thought they were scheduling a murder. Now, co-main event, Sean O'Malley, Song Yadong, another really, really exciting, fun fight. Sean O'Malley, former champion. He's a guy the UFC really tried to push. He's a guy with really good striking, really clean striking. He's a guy who can find his targets. But Song Yadong is a guy who also comes from a stand-up background and fights responsibly. Like I think one thing Sean's done well against some of his other opponents, is he's just kind of been a level ahead of them with the timing and the speed. And obviously credit to him in that sense. And I'm talking about the fights he's won. He's been a level ahead of them with the timing and the speed. But I just don't know if I see him having that advantage thoroughly against Song Yadong. Like, his length's going to be a problem for Song Yadong. But Song Yadong is a guy who also, crisp striker, responsible, he's clean. He might not be the upper echelon of opponent. It's probably a good matchup for Sean O'Malley, but it's also a dangerous matchup because it's one, as long as the fight stays on the feet, can probably go either way. Feature bout, Waldo Cortez Acosta, and Derek Lewis. Just hilarious, the state of the heavyweight division. I don't know how many heavyweights they have on their roster. I think it's like 30 or something. Derek Lewis, been in the top 10 forever. This is the fight. This is a fight. Like, Derek Lewis is a guy who people, I think of when they think of like MMA, like someone who's just going to bite down on their mouthpiece and swang and swing and swang and bang and stand and bang and just swang and bang and just stand and bang and like put it all out there. But like, I don't know. I think it's like when people who don't really know the UFC think of the UFC from like the mid-90s, I think they think of a guy like Derek Lewis, who just kind of puts his head down and swings, and he's got crazy knockouts, all-time leading knockout guy in the UFC. It's a fun one. It's pretty inconsequential. Just, I think, one, the heavyweight division is really weak. And then on top of that, like, I don't know. So Waldo Cortez Acosta, he lost to Sergey Pavlovich a couple times out. Derek Lewis has kind of lost to anyone who's good. Like, Derek Lewis is hanging around because it's fun. Derek Lewis is hanging around because he puts on a good show. But like, how much? Like, I don't know. This one is just purely for entertainment purposes, which, to the UFC's credit, is what it's about. But it's like, I don't look at either man in this matchup thinking like they're going to move on to be fighting for a world title or anything like that.
Swang is a word. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. Swang and bang.
No, I looked it up. It's a word.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
You're cool.
Was like, did Ray Shremmerd, were they the ones who popularized it? I don't know
What
either.
does swang mean?
It's the past of swung.
Okay, just making sure if
So
there
that-
wasn't some slang for it or something.
So it doesn't really fit the context,
So I guess
actually.
if you were going to listen to the Dire Straits Sultans of Swing now, it'd be Sultans of Swang, because it's no longer in the present tense.
Yeah, and Sultan's also past tense of Sultans. Anyway,
Okay,
it's
I've ruined those segments.
Yeah, no, it's a great card, top to bottom. Like, Arnold Allen, Jean Silva, a phenomenal matchup. Two the best featherweights in the world. Really excited. Like, they're making this card to make it exciting. Like, they want to kick Paramount Plus off with a bang. They've given us great matchups. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo, great matchup. Alex Perez, Charles Johnson, great match. Like, it's just fun all the way, all up and down. Because sometimes I think the biggest issue people have with mixed martial arts is some of these cards, like, they don't really like mixed martial arts. They like kickboxing and they like Muay Thai. And when it gets, a little bit grapple heavy, or whether it gets a little wrestling heavy or it gets a little strategy heavy, people aren't always as big fans of the sport, but they like those guys who are going to stand and bang and put on a fun show. That's what you're going to get on this card, pretty much top to bottom. Like, every fight all the way through is the UFC saying, hey, let's be exciting. Let's put on fights the fans want to see. It's going to be a lot of stand-up. It's going to be a lot of action. Let's go just have fun with this one. Let's kick off Paramount Plus with some fun. That's what they've given you here.
I like it. I love your passion for that. I think that's one of the reasons we have so many people texting in and interested. Because
I'll write some questions next time, so it's not just me like talking for 10 minutes, because that gets a little bit dry.
I don't know. What I like about it is that you know the stuff, and so you're imparting information. So
I think my thing is, like, it gets a little dry, like, if you're not a fan of the subject at hand. Like, I think anything for 10 minutes of one voice in a row when you're not really a fan of it gets a little dry. So I'll get some questions together for next Monday.
That's why I don't listen to you, Al.
So my history of the Zamboni podcast that I'm planning may not be a hit.
Well, listen, for anyone who's a fan of Zambonis, they're going to love it.
The Zamboni family is quite excited. Are you done?
Yeah, I can be done.
Okay,
there's a lot going on in the hockey world, so I want to get to that.
But I
no. Plus, selfishly, this way I can sneak to the bathroom.
Oh, you want to sneak to the bathroom?
But I do think I've kind of said my piece on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Watch it, but I know there's a lot of hockey to talk to.
Well, we've had a nice convo today. We've talked about the trades that have happened. The San Jose picking up Sherwood and Vegas picking up Anderson. Those are big moves. The Oilers have already done some things. I think they have solved the goaltending. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Maybe it will in the final, then we'll know, or maybe they don't get to the final. But they've addressed it, right? I like the defense. I think you could add a right side defender, but that's going to cost. We talked about Panarin. I don't see how you get him here, though. You'd have to trade.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
I don't know, guys. You're like New York would eat half of that.
Okay, but they're still 5.9.
I know. But
And
that's
so
not.
If you trade Henrique and they retain half and you give them a bunch of picks and players, you still have to trade Mangiapane and have nothing coming back. No
Yes,
retention.
like it's a tough one.
You have to trade him for future considerations.
Right. I mean, hell, boys, that would be a great get. I mean, I think we'd all be pretty interested in Panarin on this team if you don't take away, any of the top six. And he would be a rental, I think. He's got a no movement clause, too. He has to waive.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that would have to come together with that. Like a lot.
But it'd be nice.
Because then you have to rely on the Rangers, who will retain. I think that's a bona fide. If Panarin gets moved, they're retaining no matter what.
And they'll get a better, like the other side of it is other teams are going to load up. Like Chicago, they might want Panarin. He'd be,
But you have to make a move before you can make that move so you can get rid of Mangiapane.
Well, like right now sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like you have to find someone for Mangiapane now, and you have to be okay with like, all right, we're putting all our eggs in the Panarin basket. If you have nothing coming back for Mega Payne.
It would be a hell of a top six. Who would you play him with?
Ooh, good question.
I'd put him on the top line.
You think top line and then Nuge finally gets dropped
So
down
you
to
could
that
do
3C line?
McDavid, Panarin, Hyman, Draisaitl, Podkolzin, Kapanen, and then Nuge.
Dude, who
Savoy,
cares with that
Howard?
top six?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, because then all of a sudden, like if you do Nuge, Savoy, Howard, that's probably the third line.
You might have to
That sounds like a banging third line.
You might have to give up one of those kids, though.
You might have to. Are you more willing to part with Savoy or Howard? Or
Guys.
do people see what Clattenburg's doing? They're like, dude, give us a little bit of that Clattenburg kid.
For Artemi Panarin, they can have both of them.
Well, I think there's a lot of fans who would feel that way. I mean, that would be a big
They
get.
can have Connor McDavid's dog.
Artemi Panarin, he's very similar to when I brought up Pasta the other day. Like, has he ever been a top 5 player in the league? I don't think he has, but he's always been in that 6 to 10 range.
Isn't swung already the past tense? Delta Golf. Although my Google search reveals that swang was sometimes used as a past tense in the early 1900s, so it's understandable why Lowetide thinks it's valid when he was going to high school.
Zinger. Because, Swan would be past that. Oh, man, I won the clubs today.
Well,
so
this is why we're not a English dictionary show. We would not do well.
No, but like maybe we should bring it back, but it's for like a long time ago. So like when Tiger Woods has been retired for like 10 years, right? And it's like, man, you should have seen him when he was swanging those clubs back in 2001, man. That was something, I tell you what.
When I was a kid, the NBC Game of the Week, I think it was NBA Game of the Week for baseball, had a man named Dizzy Dean, and he made up words. He'd say, he slid into second, and then people would just go, yeah, that's what Dizzy says, slud.
That's baseball announcing right there for you.
Wow. Are we done already?
That's what the music would imply, yeah.
Boy.
That clock's a minute slow, by the way.
Is that why? Because I think
It's
you're
about-
robbing
it's
me
about
of
50
that.
seconds.
50
that clock.
seconds slow.
I don't like to be robbed of time. I get upset.
Stop giving Declan his own segment.
Yeah,
then.
for real.
Bingo. Zinger.
Or at least, no, let me keep
Whoa.
those, but you can take me away from the other 5 segments of the show.
Roasted.
All right. Tough room. Okay. Jason Gregor on the way. Fun time to be an Oiler fan. And I can't wait. I hope he and Declan get into a Buffalo Bills convo here today. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Every fresh chef-crafted gourmet meal, handcrafted from scratch, fresh ingredients, and arrives at your door fully cooked, ready to heat, eat, and repeat. Meals.loca. NHL scores right now. Canes lead the Sabres 2-1, 2:30 to go in the third. In that one, Caps and Avs set to go in about 5 minutes time, and the Penguins and Kraken will go at 3. In the NBA, 2 games. Thunder lead the Cavs 66-51 at halftime. Clippers and Wizards tied 37-37 with about 5:50 to go in the second. And one final saw the Bucks beat the Hawks 112-110. In the AJ, 2 games as part of the AJHL Showcase. Olds and Lloydminster at 4 o'clock, Bonnyville and Canmore at 7, both from the Marching Crane Centrium. In the College Football World Championship game tonight between Indiana and Miami, that one kicking off at 5:30. And in the sporting world, Kiefer Sherwood has been traded to the Sharks for Cole Clayton and 2 second-rounders. The Buffalo Bills have fired Sean McDermott and promoted Brandon Bean to president, and Zach Charbonnet out for the rest of the playoffs with a knee injury for the Seahawks. This has been a Sports 1440 update. I'm Declan Krueger.
Sports 14.